If you were already here in 2018, you might remember that Aave, or ETH how it was called back then, was a great revolution in DeFi. The first time people could deposit their ETH and borrow against this ETH to get more crypto money, so they could borrow stable coins, for instance, and buy more Ethereum to leverage, or they could invest it in something else while always keeping their ETH in the Aave account. Since then, a lot has happened, and we see here at Blockchain Bureau, which is a new company, I believe, by some founders of the Phantom project or Sonic, because Andre Cronje has been posting about it, and he called them we, so I think he's involved in that. And they say that since the beginning of the year, 54 billion have been borrowed across the 5 leading protocols on 7 EVM chains. And these are just the numbers from this year. But Andre goes further, and I think what we need to speak about now is a great revolution, because the crypto lending is about to go into the next stage. At the moment, one big problem with all these steps is that you can only borrow against collateral. So you always need to lock up your ETH, you need to lock up any other token that Aave or a competitor platform supports, and then you can take out a certain percentage of this money that you put into this pot. So you can put in ETH, and then you take out, for instance, 60–70% of what you put in ETH in a US dollar coin that you can use further to invest in other assets. However, what TradFi uses to do lending on a much, much bigger scale is so-called credit scores. So if you go to your traditional bank, you gather proof that you are able to get a credit because you have either some assets or you have a certain history of credits where you can prove that you have always paid them back, and the bank will trust you enough to give you a loan. So what does Andre say here? And this is crucial for Sonic and for all the development of the Sonic mainnet, which will go live in December this year. So Andre starts with describing the technology, how it always evolves over time, and how certain new additions and new revolutions, new innovations in technology can only happen when there are other innovations happening before. For instance, he said that the ICO bubble could only happen because Ethereum launched before that. It couldn't happen without it. And most of the things we do on the internet nowadays could not have been done on a 56K modem, because it has just been too slow for these things that we do right now with our smartphones. And for blockchain, he sees similar things. Many of the chains that have been around just have not been able to create these lending markets that we can now see with Sonic. So Sonic is launching soon, and we have some technological barrier, he claims, that have been overcome with the launch of Sonic. And one of them is that it has such an extremely low latency, which brings it to 700 milliseconds only for the consensus on Sonic. And therefore, you can travel and propagate through the network. Once it's propagated, it's final, it's instant, basically. You have true finality, which is synchronous through this architecture of Sonic. You know, it's a DAC, it's a directed acyclic graph. So you have several graphs flowing at the same time, which allows the users to have a very different experience. He also says that the gas subsidies are possible on Sonic natively. This is comparable with the Paymaster function that many layer 2s offer now, where you can actually pay for your users, I believe. Then you have native account abstraction, and I think this is a massive, massive improvement as well, because this is such an onboarding barrier for all the non-crypto native users who wants to save their wallet keys, who wants to who is able to keep them safe and to just act in DeFi without ever getting robbed, so to say. And then we have gas monetization, and he already talked about this before as well. Sonic is giving 90% of the fees earned to the dApps. That means the developers will I believe a lot of developers will make Sonic a crowded place to use all the dApps, because there is no other chain where you can get so much money just from the network for publishing your own dApp on this network. However, these things are just for the financial transactions, very simple. And he says what was the big shift for TradFi actually was the introduction of credit scores. And you might believe it now or not, but they have been working on this product for a while, and they have managed to do something that I will show you shortly. So TradFi has created things like personal loans, payday loans, reward credit cards, secured credit cards, all these things, leasing, car loans, pay now, buy now, pay later, postpaid mobile plans, credit monitoring. All this is only possible due to credit scores. And this is an unsecured global lending market, which has at the moment $11.3 trillion US total volume. And it's projected to reach 15 trillion just in 2028. So we are also seeing a very, very strong growing market here. And the design of these credit scores is pretty simple. You extract the data, you transform it, and then you are able to loan. And they took that, and this blockchain bureau, I believe it's something that Andre is involved in because he writes about V here. So we set out to extract, transform, and load all loans, trade, and interaction data on most blockchains. So they took this data since 2021 and they built these profiles and credit scores for 500 million wallets, and collecting all this data enabled them to create these scores by not using any KYC, no personal information whatsoever. It's fully private, and at the same time, every wallet can get a score here on the scoreboard, right? And this can be used for loans which are not using collateral. That means like traditional bank loans, just with a credit score, you can borrow money, which untaps a huge, huge amount of new credit money that could flow into crypto through Sonic. So if you still haven't seen my other videos about Sonic, I would highly recommend you to watch the video about why Phantom is exploding, or why the Sonic airdrop is something you can still gain. So watch this video about the Sonic airdrop still in September, October, because this is the time when you can still earn this airdrop yourself, even if you didn't do anything for it yet. And yeah, this being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this, and make sure you leave your like, subscribe to my channel if you want more crypto and Sonic content. And I wish you a wonderful day. Your Alex.